She was already like,
I was waiting on you at the door.
Ma.
Kayla go tell her.
I mean, my story was definitely a lot different than Dad's. I had my baby on a Monday. I came to the hospital on Sunday thinking I was going to give birth, but I didn't. I ended up checking in because my OB was the person that also delivered Drew Boo. So I was kind of in contact, which was a great thing on any mom's end, is for whoever is delivering your baby to know exactly what your background is, your ethnicity. Have you had any problems gaining weight or keeping up weight, or just any demographics about you that need to be known? Your blood type, do you need blood thinners, are you on certain medication, all of that stuff, so that when you give birth, people not looking and frantic about, you know what I'm saying? It don't have to be an emergency situation.
What Kayla was saying, you go in and you fill out really those forms, and your OB does send over a copy of like your records.
But in the heat of the moment, it's like you don't have time. Like the doctor, even when you send over records, they use that as a reference. They don't necessarily like go like memorize it. Like all the nurses and the doctors huddle up and have a meeting and say, Dad has this and she has this and we need to memorize. Like they don't memorize that stuff. And y'all have to understand that too. You know, doctors and medical institutions don't really favor African Americans or African American women. So you have to be careful, and you have to make sure that when it's time for you to go to the hospital, you have all your paperwork in hand, because your OB will print out all that stuff for you to take as well. So that when you're looking at your information, you can look at it and tell them what you need, how you feeling, how you need to go about dosing. If they give you a certain dose, how do you feel? If it's overwhelmingly like you don't feel like yourself. I would say to new moms, of course old moms know, but new moms, just make sure you have your paperwork. I didn't even have my paperwork on hand. It was just so much going on. I was just frantic. And I was so ready to have Drew. I was just like, I don't want to be pregnant no more. Like today, it got to be today. But long story short, I got induced. So induced means that they give you Pitocin. So they give you some medicine to induce your labor, to get your labor going. I wasn't due
make you become dilated.
Yeah, I wasn't due for like another like week or two. But since I was already there, my OB was like, it makes no sense for you to go home. Actually, I think it was like a couple days. I don't even think it was a whole week. Yeah, a couple days. And I had definitions of what efface and... Okay, so there's effacement and there's dilation. Those are two different terms. Effacement, so I was more effaced than I was dilated. I was only dilated like 1 centimeter when I got there, but effaced-wise, I was like 80%. So effacement means that the cervix stretches when it stretches and gets thinner. Dilation means that the cervix is opening up for the baby to come out. So my cervix was thinning, but it wasn't opening up enough. And FYI, you have to be at least 3 centimeters to get an epidural. So I'm not sure how regular birth is, but once you get induced, everything starts moving quickly. I think it's a lot slower when you don't get induced and you really just going through your own like pace at labor. I think whatever, but
I think once you get induced, I think it's like a time limit that they have to see if you even become any more dilated than what you were already. So they're trying to see how fast they can get the baby out of you.
I was induced. Once I was induced, everything started moving pretty fast. I started feeling the pain. The pain wasn't too unbearable. I think I got to like 3 centimeters and it got there. And dead ass was hurt. And I was crying.
Me too.
And Josh, unlike Dan's story, Josh was there with me. So I definitely
he
had
was
somebody
there during that part.
But not the whole time.
He was there when I got induced and all that stuff.
Okay, so yeah,
But like he literally had to go back the day after I gave birth. I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
Well, Josh was there the whole time, honey, get on my damn nerves. He was doing this thing with my nose, like he'll do this. And I used to be like, stop touching me. I don't want to be touched. Stop doing it. But with being induced, you do feel the pain pretty, you know what I'm saying? And I think back in the day, you didn't even have the opportunity to get medicine in between. But yeah, so I was about 80% effaced. And then once the contractions started coming, I was okay. Like, my doctor did not approve morphine. I guess she just didn't want to give it to me. But I did have fentanyl, I think. It's not the same thing as the drug you be getting high off of. Or it might be, I don't know. But I think it's called fentanyl.
I think all of that actually is the same stuff, but it's like different dosage level.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they gave that to me. I was authorized to use that, but you can only have it 2 times. So you pick and choose. And I kind of was like riding with the contractions at first.
Drug me up.
Yeah.
Baby,
I was riding with it.
I was in pain.
And I was trying to get to make sure I was getting to. I didn't know how fast I was going to get to 3 centimeters so that I could have the epidural. So I was trying to space out those 2 dosages as much as I could. Yeah. So I end up taking the first dose. Now the fentanyl does not take away the pain altogether. You still feel like the cramping feeling is just not as intense. So I kind of rolled it out. I got my first dose, and then literally by the time, like, I was literally crying and calling the nurse, like, the contractions is a type of pain where you literally can't do anything but breathe. No cap. Like, you can't be touching stuff. You can't be on your phone. You can't be talking to nobody. You can't be texting somebody on the phone. You can't be... That's why I don't see how people on TikTok and Instagram literally be, like, filming, because you literally cannot do nothing but call for the nurse. And by the time it was time for my second dosage, I was at 3 centimeters, and it was time for my epidural. So that was pretty quick. It happened within, like, a couple hours.
I was just thinking about something. So I remember, like, before... And it was long before I had a baby, but... pregnant, even thought of a child, all of that. So I remember everybody was like, oh, when you have a baby, your contractions feel like period cramps. And I was like, you a lie. Your mom's a hoe. Because
and your dad's a hoe.
And all of them a hoe. Because no, for real, the pain is like a pain you have never experienced. I'm sorry. Like, contractions are no joke. Like, when I tell you, I was, like, balled up in, like, fetal position.
And you can see on your monitor, they tell you, well, I was asking questions,
like
but
spikes.
they tell you, like, when you're having a contraction.
Yeah.
And you can look and see, like, even with the past ones, you can look and see how further or spread apart they are. And you can tell when they're coming and when you need to, like, kind of brace yourself for it. And if it's, like, getting higher, like, hurting more. So I was looking at the thing like, it's coming. It's coming.
It's funny now, like,
yeah, it's funny now, but it's not funny during.
No.
But the contractions was coming. Actually, it wasn't too bad until I don't see how people get to like 8 centimeters with no drugs, because even at 3, I was like, please, nurse. Like, I'm crying. Like, I cannot do this. And it was getting like closer together. So I couldn't, like, I didn't have time to breathe.
Actually, you know, experiencing the contractions and all of that, no, there was nothing to laugh about by a long shot. You know, it's definitely like one of those pains that I don't even know if you really can honestly describe it. I don't even know if you honestly can describe how it feels, because it's like only a pain another mother can understand. And everybody, like I said, everybody is so different. Like, my older sister, she had all natural births.
Oh no.
I said, baby, you better than me. Because go and stick it in my spine.
For real, because by the time it was time for me, when I was begging her to give me my second dosage because I couldn't take it anymore, I was 3 centimeters. And I was so lucky, because if I had took that dose, the next one, because I think because they was getting stronger and stronger, the fentanyl, it was like wearing off a little bit. So it gets stronger and stronger, and it only, like, in the beginning, it's not so strong, so it feels like, okay, it's working. Like, I ain't feeling shit. I having a party. And then the contractions start getting stronger and stronger, and it's like, it's only helping a little bit at this point. So now it's not even really taking the pain away for real. So luckily, I was at 3 centimeters. She asked me, you know, do you want to take your last dosage and then do the epidural? You can do them both, or you could do one or the other. And I was like, hey, give me that epidural. If you tell me it's going to numb everything from the waist down, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to open my gown and popped that thing in my back, and it really did not hurt. Honestly, it wasn't painful at all. I was thinking the epidural was gonna be like, and I was having a contraction right in the middle, so it was hard for me to be still. You have to be really, really still.
Yeah.
And I was getting a contraction right in the middle of me getting my epidural. Like right when the needle was going in my back, it was like it hit me, and I was like, I gotta be still. You have to be calm. They tell you to breathe. You know, I really expected the pain to be like the epidural to be like unbearable.
I think by the time you ready,
you like, I don't care what you got to stick in my back, but do it because the pain is crazy. And then once I got the epidural, everything went numb. I fell asleep. And actually, all this happened like in a matter of like
a couple minutes.
No, a couple hours.
Girl,
maybe a couple hours. And then I got the epidural, went to sleep.
Oh, you talking
I went
about
to sleep for a couple hours, maybe like 2 hours. My legs was numb, so they put a ball in between my legs to kind of help her come out.
Yes, a peanut shaped
literally,
ball.
The nurses came back in. My OB came to check me, and she was like, her head is out. And I'm like, her head was out, and I didn't even know. I was numb down there, so I didn't feel nothing. But to my knowledge, she was already like...
I was waiting on you at the door.
Peeking out. So at that point, all the nurses, they shut all the lights on, mind you. And it's crazy because one of the people I used to be cool with was saying like the nurses gonna buck the hell out of you, and they will. Like they come in there. Literally, I think the most annoying thing about my delivery was them putting that monitor on my stomach, and because I was moving and like trying to get comfortable and like the contraction was coming, so I was sitting up and crying and stuff that they had to keep repositioning it. Yes. Like I hated that. Like they put a monitor on your belly just to monitor the heartbeat of the baby and make sure it's still going strong while going into labor. That was the most annoying thing.
And the crazy part, I always say, they always say the longer you go on when after you have your baby, the stuff you start forgetting certain things. Like you don't remember every little bit of thing that
but Drew fresh, so
yeah my baby's like 1, so it's just
I can't not remember. It stopped me from having more kids.
No, like when I remember, no, for real. When I first had my daughter, they was like, oh my God, is this your first one? Yes, first and last.
And it was like, your last?
Everybody's
last.
No, for real. Like, everybody's like,
LAST, last child. That's it.
What everybody kept saying, it was like, dang, they was like, no, you're gonna want to have more, and who's gonna raise them?
You, because you asking about them. So a man seen me at the grocery store and was like, you can try for a boy. No, and when I do, I'm dropping them off at your house in front of your garage. Labor was like a couple hours for me after that. I couldn't feel anything, so it was crazy because she was like, scoot down. And she was like, no, that's not it. Scoot down, keep going. And you can't feel the bottom of your legs. So she's like, literally, you can feel nothing. I was punching my leg. I was slapping it because I was nervous.
Why?
Nervous.
No,
it'd be so numb.
No, Ken, I remember doing this. I remember like patting my legs. I was like,
I'm like,
I can't feel nothing.
And I'm pinching it.
Right.
I'm telling Josh to pinch it, and you literally can't feel anything. But once I was finished, it was no tearing. I didn't really have too much bleeding. I really didn't start feeling pain for real until after my 6 weeks. And it was just, you have to, even though you don't go through like something drastic like that, you still have to heal.
Right.
You still have to heal because you may get the pain afterwards.
I think sometimes you're just so ready to get back in like the groove of things. And the thing
you really are though.
Once you have a C-section, your healing, like they give you like your 6-week checkup, so they'll take off any extra like gauze or like stitching that's left, because it's like the one that I don't know, it like dissolves. That's what it is. It dissolves.
But it don't mean dissolve.
It don't really do. It don't really dissolve. Like they still have to remove it. So I was feeling them as they was snatching it off.
What?
Yeah, girl. Yes. Like as they was pulling she was like, your healing looks great, because I wasn't doing anything extra. But the crazy part is, what a lot of people don't know is that when you have a C-section, you can still feel pain. I'm talking about dang near like a year later. Kayla.
You still feel pain?
Yeah, I felt pain not too long ago. And it's crazy. And like a lot of people don't even know that. But I'm like, honestly, motherhood is such a beautiful experience. It's hard sometimes. It's difficult, but definitely it's rewarding. because there's no better gift, in my opinion, than your beautiful baby being healthy and just not having to, you know, like I said, I'm grateful to not have to worry about my child having like any sickness, any illness. Like, I was blessed for that. More than anything, that was what was most important to me.
No, seriously.
And honestly, I feel like sometimes as parents, we might take that for granted, but I don't. You know, I'm one of those moms where I'm just like, you know, I'm grateful that, you know, me and my daughter are both still here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many crazy stories about, you know, both the mom and the baby passing away in labor.
Experience.
Yeah, it is. No, for a C-section, when I tell you, I remember going in, they pull her out. Once they pull her out of me, once they cut you and everything, they pull her out. I felt like I was literally dying. And I know sometimes it sounds drastic, but it really did feel that way. Like, I felt like I was going towards the light, and that was like, my baby was born. I was happy that she was here, but I felt like my eyes were closing. Like, I was like, and my fiance just kept saying, babe, stay up, babe, stay up, babe, stay up. Like, he wanted me to stay up just to be on the, you know, on the safe side, because I just didn't know. And it's just like, to experience something like that, I don't know if I honestly would want to go through it again.
No, seriously.
Because,
and mine was too good that I don't want to go through it again and have to go through something crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is, every birthing experience is so different from even like, just you, same mother, same father, whatever. But every child is so different once you give birth.
And the birth is not going to be the
same. It's not. And I think like, just knowing that, like, I got through that experience, I just kept thanking God. Like, I'm so glad.
And don't be induced if you don't have to be.
Oh, yeah,
like, I think the biggest takeaway that somebody told me, and I forget who it was, whoever it is, shout out to you, but they were like, just live in the moment. Like, I was so scared. Like, I spent my whole pregnancy, like, literally, like, I used to joke with Josh, like, they're going to have to find another way to get this baby out, because I can't. But I was literally, like, I'm not even joking. I was, like, seriously scared. But the best thing you could do is, like, live in the moment and live for the now and be appreciative of your little belly or big belly. I had to get induced because Drew was a little smaller than normal. So I was on bed rest the last, like, month or so and just trying to get my weight up and eat everything. She wasn't like preemie, but she was close. But, you know, just live in the moment. If you're scared, that's okay. That's normal, because literally your whole life is changing. Your body is changing to literally deliver. So
and bring life into this world. Like, seriously, like, bring a whole nother human being out of you.
But you just have to, you know what I'm saying? Now you can see, like, each birthing story was totally different. Like, mine was quick, easy, painless, no stitches. I didn't have to worry about peeing and all that other stuff.
I ain't even talking.
But, you know, I'm assuming even going to the bathroom and having a bend.
Baby, I tell you, going to the bathroom, pain. Taking a shower, pain. I can even bend down.
I did need some of those ice packs, though. They give you at Northside, they give you some. I love
they give you basically
that.
They give you like a mummy bag for like aftercare, which is nice.
And they give you a baby bag too, full of stuff. Did you get a baby bag?
I got a bunch of stuff.
And so you want to keep the pillows,
baby?
You want to keep the diapers,
baby?
You need some formula. You need some. They really. I wish
I could remember her name, but sis came through clutch. When I tell you, we had enough diapers for like 2 months.
Okay. Shirts, Northside shirts,
everything is going to be okay. It's going to be all right. No matter if you have to have a vaginal delivery or an emergency C-section or a scheduled C-section, you know, just preparing yourself and being knowledgeable about what you're possibly could be experiencing.
Yeah, is the options. Most know your options.
Yeah,
and talk to your doctor as well. Talk to your OB. Don't wait in certain situations it will be an emergency, but don't wait until it's time for you to give birth or it's time for whatever to say or to be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I would talk to my doctor every time I go back, like, hey, does it look like I'm gonna be delivering vaginally, or does it look like? And then that way you can prepare yourself and have different things in place and protocol in place to get through this, and make sure you have somebody there with you if you having a C-section. Like, make sure somebody can fix you meals.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we underestimate all of what you do, like what you experience post baby, like once the baby is actually here. And the thing is, like, the mother is still healing so much. That's why I always say, even just a quick sidebar, I feel like moms definitely should have more downtime, or I don't want to say downtime, but more time away from work that's paid for.
You think 6 months is enough?
I don't think so, because I feel like, for one, you're experiencing so much.
I feel like you need a whole year.
I honestly feel
like that's a lot, but I feel like you need a whole year.
It seems like it's drastic, but the thing is, you don't even really start feeling back to yourself until almost a year later. Crazy as that sounds.
But thank you guys for tuning in. We hope that you got a lot of well-needed, not questions answered, but just feeling a little bit more confident about your labor and delivery.
Right.
Even though people's stories are bad, there's some good, and then there's some in the middle and in between. But as long as you stay positive and you praise who you need to praise, I ain't telling you, who to praise, but God was in my corner.
Right, I feel that same.
And you really have to just keep the faith. You're going to be okay. Like, the more, with anything, you just have to think positive. And, it is what it is. The baby got to come out.
Right.
So, just, like I said, stay on the up and up with your doctors and make sure, you have you record everything. Because sometimes you don't have the luxury of having an OB and a doctor, being connected. So keep a record. Even if somebody does not know, you have a record of your own, and you can say, hey, this is how much weight I gained, or they told me this and it was supposed to be this, and be one with yourself. Like I said in the last video, I'm not very consistent with so I am now that I'm having a baby, but knowing something is wrong, knowing you should be. No. No. Oh, no.
I can't do it again.
No.
What I always say, unless God come down and hand deliver that child, baby. My daughter ain't getting no sister. No sister or no brother.
We in the turkey baster.
But we really want to just thank you guys for. We just want to thank you guys for tuning in again, another week, another episode. We greatly appreciate the consistent support and feedback about the topics that we're discussing. We've been getting great feedback about everything.
And if there's something else you want us to talk about,
don't be scared to just DM us. We are on top of that.
We're regular people.
Yeah. We ain't that big yet. Even once we do get big, y'all, we still gonna be on top of it. But we definitely appreciate the support. It's something that we're genuinely passionate about, especially since becoming new moms. Just stay tuned for
we wish you a happy labor and delivery for those moms that are having babies.
That are expecting, yes. And we just want to say thank you again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Des K out.